Hey engineers, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Space Engineers, Episode 10, Mixed Grid or Scanner. So I am out of silicon for the computers. So I'll just mine some real quick with the ship. Oh, it's a lot more agile. Thanks to the lack of the thrusters that were adding a lot of weight. My hydrogen's down to 45%, so I might also want to make a quick stop for ice as well at some point. Maybe add some lights in the back of this thing too, because the rear is not very well illuminated. Who even needs a parking camera, right? Apparently I don't. And what's nice is I have a clear path all over to the refinery, so the refinery is going to pull the stone without me having to really do anything. Alright, let's keep disassembling the construction comp. But I already have all the parts I need for the detector, and then some. So the next thing I need is to put a rotor on the back. I'm trying to think, before I do that, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to add to this ship, because once I add the large ore detector, it's going to be very difficult to add anything else connected to this. So what I might want to do is to put in a junction here, so that if I do want a large... Well, I have these on the side. I'm trying to think if there's other things I'd want to add. I could also do a front-facing camera for spying ores. I'll do that right now, because that's really inexpensive. Nope, not disassembly. 1, 2, 3... Will space debris damage the solar panels? No, it won't. So the ores that you mine are just kind of... They don't have enough velocity to do any damage. Unless you have like a ton of ore in a storage container and you break that storage container with your grinder tool. The ore, because it will be such a massive ball, could like fling you into a wall or something. So there's the edge case of, yeah, sometimes ore can kill you, but from a mining drill, it's not gonna kill me. Forward-facing camera. Just right where that spotlight is. Actually, it's not a bad spot. You know what, spotlight? You're dead to me. Alright, so we have a forward-facing camera now. So what I'm going to need to do is to do... This is... We'll call it the ore spy camera. And then the other one is the parking camera. Pod parking. And this should be the pod ore spy camera, so it doesn't get confusing. And then the pod ore spy camera. I'll put it next to the ore detector, so it's easy to remember. So now it's front-facing which will be a lot more useful. All right. I need to just think a moment about if there's anything else that is going to be mission critical. Yes, there actually is. So on this ship, at some point, I'm going to want a survival kit, I think. But I don't have the silver to add it. So here's what the survival kit looks like, where it has small ports. And the port that I attach doesn't really matter. So what I could do is I could have the survival kit in progress here, but not actually built. Maybe not upside down. And then attach the large ore detector to the back with a incomplete survival kit. Because this is still, like, structural, and I can still attach stuff to it. Chat, can you brainstorm anything else that I've, like, may have overlooked? That I'm gonna be like, oh, shoot, I should have, like, made space for this? Because I think I'm good. So I'm going to withdraw all that I need for the survival... Oh, nope, that's not what I meant to do. Put it in the build planner. So the medical comp, obviously, I don't have, but everything else I think I have. Oh, I need to make one display. Yep. Again, that's disassembly. Verify my base battery is charging. It is not. That's because it was attached to the assembler, and I destroyed the assembler because I misplaced it. I don't want to have to do merge blocks, so I'm going to cheat, because if I grind that down, obviously I'm not getting the batteries back, and I just can't be bothered to do that. So I've already built a battery, but there it is. I've effectively not... I've just attached it with admin. But good catch on that. So, this is the base battery. And it's going to be recharged in 4 hours, because the solar panels are pretty effective. Oh, and here you can see the solar panels are actually tracking the sun. So they are generating about 160 each. I can always add the ore detector and attach stuff later. So the reason why I'm brainstorming now is because I'm going to lose the large port access if I attach the ore detector to the end of this. But I'm just going to do it. Whatever. Rotor. Oh, no. That's not what I wanted. I'll just do a standard rotor. Oh, no, that's not the one I want either. Oh, no, I mean, it is. I think. No, it isn't. I'll get there eventually. There we go. Yep. Small tube. Okay. Now. And get a build block up here. And a rotor part. And what I need to make sure is, so that's 6 tubes and 25 steel. I need to make sure not to bump it. That's the really important part. And in order to do this well, I might actually want a rear-facing cockpit for my own sanity. Because I'm not the best pilot. So I think I'm gonna cop for that. Because I know how ineffective I am at steering, so I'm just gonna make sure I, you know, end up alive. Alright, build planner for cockpit. And this doesn't need to be fighter cockpit, normal cockpit's fine. So I need 5 displays, 4 steel plates. I don't care about the bulletproof glass. All right. Lights would be good too. So I'll get some interior plates for that. I wanted that anyway, so there we go. Oh, it's construction comp. I'm an idiot. That would be a good spot for a... Well, no, I don't envision me back in... I probably want the illuminated globe lighting more, anyway. So one there, and then I'll do one on each side of these weird oxygen tanks. In the lights, odd interior light. Where's the other ones? Three, 4, 5. Save, and then max the radius and intensity of all of them. Oh, am I not getting oxygen anymore? Oh, that's not an oxygenated cabin. I haven't wired that up yet. At some point, what I could do is I could cut this conveyor and hook it up to the cockpit here so that this becomes oxygenated, but I'm going to use this so infrequently it doesn't really matter. All right. It's time to anchor to that large rotor head. So, I'll explain a little bit more of what I'm doing, just so that you understand. This pod I have here is small grid. Small grid pods have access to the small grid ore detectors, but these small grid ore detectors have a maximum range of 50 meters, which is not great. The large grid ore detectors have a maximum range of 150 meters, which is much better. In order to connect a large grid ore detector to a small grid ship, you need to... Generally, what you do is you take a rotor, and then you grind off the head of the rotor, and then you park the rotor on a large rotor head and attach the large rotor head to the large grid rotor head to the small grid rotor base, and you can then intermix large and small grid, so that you can gain access to large grid things. That would allow you to attach things like a large grid ore detector to your small grid ship, or an assembler, or a refinery, because assemblers and refineries aren't typically small grid, or can't be small grid, so it allows you to gain access to a lot of small grid. Now, there is caveats to that, the more subgrids that you have, the more clang you're going to summon. So basically, each additional subgrid that you've got on your base can end up with phantom forces and bug out. So for instance, this solar array has 2 subgrids, right? We've got that cube right here on the end of this rotor. This cube is one subgrid, and then this whole panel structure is another subgrid. So the more subgrids that you have, the more cling that you could cause, but an ore detector is worth it. So before I attach this thing, I'm going to quick save, just in case of something terrible. You wonder if this is a workaround? You know, I don't know. I know very little about the developers' stance on things. The other thing is, like, this cockpit. So there's a few other things I want to do first. One is to put the connector on this cockpit so that I can actually disconnect from the thing. Pod connector, switch lock. I might as well... You know what? I just realized, like, I have no use for landing gear anymore. I mean, I could lock it to an asteroid, but, like, I'm never going to do that, so I might as well just get rid of it. Because all that's ever going to happen is that thing's going to, like, lock onto something that I'm not aware of and rip the ship apart and do something stupid. So the other things I wanted to do is, in order to park on that rotor, I need very fine movements. So what I want to do is just go and turn off half of my thrusters. Oh, except for my up thruster. Oh, that's going to be a problem. So I'm going to go up first and then use the small thrusters to go down. I might want another hydrogen thruster to go up. That is... I guess I could thrust override it and just, like, tell it not to have a lot of thrust at all. I could do that. But the reason I'm doing this is so that I produce less thrust so that I can make finer movements. Because with half the thrust... you know, I can... It's going to be a little bit easier to feather. Alright. Unfortunately, I need to remove that thrust override, because I can't break the... The connector has, like, a magnet lock, and I didn't even have enough thrust to break the magnet. That's funny. Alright. So, let's thrust override again. Well, no, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to limit the max thrust, and obviously I wasn't doing it. But, okay. So now it's about lining myself up on this rotor and parking perfectly without... Here, I'm just going to quick save again. Parking perfectly without nudging it. Which is kind of like Kerbal Space Program docking. The sort of darker part of the rotor doesn't have physics. It will clip into my ship, as it's intended to be inside of the rotor base. And the cleaner the connection, the better. Oh god, that's clean. Back a little. Alright, let's see. Oh, that's really good. I might need to look down, like, half a degree. Oh, God. Okay. That looks like a really good seal. I mean, I'm not an experienced player, so I don't want to say with any authority, but it looks pretty good to me. So, now that we're all lined up on that large rotor head, very carefully, go to the advanced rotor. So this is going to be the pod or detector advanced rotor. And attach rotor head, or attach. Oh, it just locked very much automatically. The other question is it at an angle? Current angle, so I was 1 degree off. It's 181 degrees. But because I'm not adding something really long to the back of this, it's not going to matter. Because, right, like, if it's short and not angled up, it's not a problem. But if it's really long, then the 1 degree angle is going to make more of a difference. So I think it's fine, 1 degree off. I don't think it's going to break the bank. And now I can add the large ore detector to the back of this, which is way better than this one. Which is why, to prize it, I said, if you remember, I said, I doubt I'm going to use this one. I'm not. I'm about to saw that off as soon as I get the better one on. So, ore detector. Yoink. Okay. It wasn't able to withdraw, like, most of the stuff. What did I already have it on me? Nope. I didn't already have it on me. I just used it or something. Okay, so... What is that? 42 steel plates and 16 comps? Um, 19 computers, and then we're good to go. Little drunk driving there. Whoa. All right, first things first. Pod or detector off. It's very costly. Power-wise. Sorry, old detector. You're done. You're out of here. How does the ship handle? Oh, I also need to turn on the thrusters back. I'm thinking another gyroscope wouldn't be... Oh, Jesus, my helmet's up. Another gyroscope wouldn't be a bad idea, because this, it's a little sluggish. And more gyroscopes equal better performance. And then also maybe oxygenate that. I'm not going to use it often enough. I don't think it matters. So what did I need for this? I can't wait until I have the advanced assembler where I could just say do it. Steel tube, motor, computer, plates, comp. So all the ingredients, essentially. How many motors is it? 2? Oh, I had motors. Oh well. Not the end of the world. Next goal is to refuel the ship. And then after I refuel the ship, I am going to do a survey of local asteroids to try to find important resources. Let's see how this big boy handles with the behemoth ore detector slapped to the back. So the reason I'm doing a elongated ship, Mark, is when I mine into an asteroid, I can dig a tunnel into the asteroid using one drill and not need multiple drills around it, an array of drills, so that I can fit into the tunnel. I might at some point end up adding more drills to the front of this, but the more drills I add, the more it obscures my vision. So at current, I can actually tunnel through I can tunnel through a asteroid without, you know, needing to get out and do anything, which is going to be nice. What was I going to do? Did I get rid of this? Yeah, I got rid of the spotlights. I was wondering about that. I don't want them back. So the small spotlights is 2 plates, 2 tubes, 2 interior plates. And 4 glass, 2 comps. I've built a needle. Yeah, and I built a needle kind of on purpose so that I can just easily drill into things. Because I only have 2 medium-sized or pod containers on this thing, I don't have a huge capacity for ore. This isn't like a mothership base builder. It's just a more simple ship. You know, I can always improve it sometime in the future if that gets voted on. I think what I'm going to do is put the spotlights and the interior lights on separate on separate groups. So pod spotlights. I'm doing this wrong. Where's my spotlights? Yeah, they are. Pod lights. That way they actually have icons too, which is nice. I'm going to move this parking camera here. Move the thrusters. Here. And then get rid of the pod lights group. I don't need that anymore. Put the spotlights and deck lights. Oh, it's the... There we go. And then the spotlights. Spotlight 1, spotlight 2, and slap the pod prefix to it. And I'll raise the intensity. Okay, now I can see what I'm doing. Does this have hab buildings? Yeah, you can pressurize internal spaces, and I hope to be doing that at some point. I have like a design that I want to get to in my head. The first thing I really need to do is to do an ore survey of the local area, though, because an ore survey, I'm missing a lot of materials that I need to be able to survive properly, like silver, platinum, that kind of stuff. All right, that's a lot of ice already. That didn't take very long. With my giant... Oh yeah, it's a little better. With my giant ore detector, you'll be able to see that I can detect this... make sure I'm not backing up into anything. I could detect this ice much further away. Right? Much further away than my drill, hand drill, or the ore detector that was previously built in. So it's going to allow me to survey... Like, here's an iron I didn't even know about. It's going to allow me to survey these asteroids way more efficiently, which is great. So, next is survey local asteroids for needed elements. Am I at max time already? Well, you know, if you want to keep funding my life... do whatever. Lurk, watch, whatever you want. One thing I kind of wish there was like a laser rangefinder or something to be able to figure out how far away an asteroid is, because I have a real hard time trying to understand the depth of like how physically far I am to neighboring asteroids, like what's closest. You know? I wish that was a thing. Also, why am I not healing? I'm in an oxygenated, warm environment. Why am I not healing? Well, all the more need for a survival kit. Oh, I healed a 70% life? Oh, okay, good to know. All the more reason for a survival kit. I shouldn't have, like, joked, opened my visor. That had some ramifications I hadn't thought of. I might actually need to eject some of this ice. Because I kind of filled my ship with ice. I mean, if I find ores, I can always come back for it. This wasn't very far away. Another thing I ought to do is to not have the ore detector on while in transit, because this thing... Well, I don't know. At the moment I have power for 17 hours, and that's kind of a long time. What secrets do you have, friends? I'm detecting a whole lot of nothing. Really careful not to bump anything, because I don't have an easy way to fix the ship. At some point, maybe I will build a dry dock repair yard. We'll see. Have I heard about Humanities? I not only have heard about it, I've played it. In fact, it might be worth mentioning. Today is the last day to suggest games for me to play for October and November. So if there's any specific game you want me to play, hop in Discord and drop a line in the game suggestions channel. I think this is just a rubble pile. This is I mean, I haven't gone everywhere. I haven't done a full orbit, but I'm not picking up any ores and my ore detector's on. Another thing is the ore detector has these little green lights when they're on. If they're off, they're red. Oh, you know what? Actually, I have a good idea. I have so much ice on board, I might as well just turn on the engine. The hydro engine. To start to fill up my batteries and burn some of that excess ice. Although my tanks are down to 38%. It's not that smart to do long term, but it's fine for now. When do you think I pull the plug on this this rubble pile and just call it a rubble pile? I'll do one more pass on the outside, the sun side, because I don't think I approached it this way. For those experienced players in chat, what % of asteroids have nothing? Like, usually they have like 1 or 2 things, sometimes 3 if you're lucky. But what % should I expect there to be no... Because this is only something that you get through experience, I guess. Can I take silicon from it? Yeah. Stone will give you a little bit of iron, a little bit of nickel, a little bit of silicon. But there's nothing especially unique about this asteroid versus the one I'm parked on with my base. So I'm going to mark this down as stone. I'm marking it down as stone so that I don't return here thinking that I haven't surveyed it yet. And I'm going to shove off and go somewhere else. I'm going to go to that one. So the things I'm looking for, silver, platinum, uranium. That'd be the really important stuff. Let's see, there's stone, ice, iron, nickel, silicon, magnesium, cobalt, silver, gold, platinum, uranium. Gold wouldn't be bad to have either. There's a lot of stuff that I'm going to want to unlock at some point with gold. But silver would allow me to make the survival kit that's attached to this pod. And then also I'd probably want a survival kit back at my base as well. So that I can respawn and heal. Uranium allows me to make reactors for much easier power. And then platinum for better tools and a whole lot of... Platinum unlocks a lot of stuff. Platinum's kind of a big one too. Check the range settings on the ore detector. Yeah, I believe I maxed it out. Yep, it's maxed. It's like the first thing I did, I think. But I'm also really bad at remembering that kind of stuff, so I appreciate you mentioning it. One thing I haven't done is try to use the spy cam. My forward-facing spy cam. Oh, yeah, there's something there. Looks like ice. I would guess. Why did my batteries drop by half? Because I had the large ore detector on. Like I said, I'm really bad at remembering this stuff. I waste a lot of fuel that I don't need to waste. Let's see. The batteries here are actually full charge. They can't be charged up anymore. So that's just how much power I have in a given day. Or, yeah, on full charge. Alright, just turn the ore detector on. And I'll turn on the lights as well. Take this nice and slow. Because one thing that I would probably change about this ship is I would add a lot more hydrogen thrusters so that I can maneuver a little bit easier, because I feel like I'm driving like, wow, a giant honking cargo ship or something, which is more or less what it is. Alright, there's absolutely something up there. Ice, I was right. But what I want to do is I want to do a full survey, and then I will mark down one GPS cord with all of the potential elements here. So I know there's ice, but I'm curious if there's other things as well. More ice. You call it a giant space pencil. I call it like the Nebuchadnezzar. This kind of looks like the Matrix's Nebuchadnezzar a little bit. A little bit. Right? Just a little. I wish I had an image of the Nebuchadnezzar on me so I could bring up a picture. Thank you for tuning in to Space Engineers, which originally streamed live on Twitch September 23rd as a mini-series. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you have any feedback, well, keep in mind that this series was a one-time streamed only series, so changes cannot be made, and I don't have any plans to play Space Engineers again, so tips aren't needed. If you would like to catch live streams of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. And if you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, a link can be found in the description of this video or at Rhadamant.com as well. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. Hope to catch a next episode or an upcoming stream of another game. Farewell, my fellow engineers,